So, as you all know, we had the Star Citizen 3rd anniversary live stream last night. It went on for 3 hours, it was very in-depth, lots of new information, not to mention 2.0, which is now available in PTU for a limited amount of people. This is going to be a overview, or sort of the facts from the live stream video, which will probably be a two-parter because there was, as I say, 3 hours worth of information. So it started with Chris, Sandy and Ben giving us a heads up on what we can expect from the live stream. They took a tour to all the studios, wishing Star Citizen a happy birthday. And the first major point they picked up on was the Crucible. Now this is going to be the repair ship. It is now in concept sale and it is $350 if you would like to pick it up. If you're in the EU, I think it's about $420 because of tax, unfortunately. And we spoke to Randy Vasquez and Calix Renault, who say the original concept came from Ryan Church. It is known as the Flying Toolbox. To accompany the sale, they also had a repair post on the RSI site, which I will cover in Star Citizen Sunday this week. And they said that they needed a repair mechanic for obvious reasons. We need to take care of our ships. And the Crucible provides a space or a garage to bring single-seater ships in for repair, and also work on larger ships where the Crucible can maneuver around them and repair them. It has articulated arms which you manipulate to fabricate and repair certain spots of the ship which are damaged. You're also required to mix materials to create alloys that are needed, and the better materials will create higher durability, and so on and so forth. Think of it like underwater sub-repairs. This will actually feed into the economy as well, because you'll need materials which you can either mine or salvage or purchase. Also, you can work on other people's ships. They can employ you to work on those ships. You can hire other people to work on your ships, so on and so forth. So it does add a lot to the economical simulator. The one they have available today comes with a single ship repair, what they call a scarab, which is the detachable garage basically. It's very modular and this slots into the ship, and as said, it can fit a single-seater ship, so an anvil or a gladiator, and it allows you to repair in either normal gravity, so you can walk around the ship, or in zero-G once the scarab is opened up. The bridge and the engines can rotate, so it can go forwards or backwards. There is no defined direction. And once the bridge is rotated, you can overwatch the garage and just see what's going on. So it has 4 internal arms and 2 exterior arms for bigger repairs. These are all on rails, so you can use them quite easily. The engines are on rails too, so that the centre of mass can change for better manoeuvrability, because obviously holding something like a full ship in your hold will cause the centre mass to shift quite considerably. There was a special edition of ship shape specifically for the Crucible. Now this was the interior white box, which is the earliest we have ever seen any ship development, so bear this in mind. Things will change, things are not set, and it looks a bit all over the place at the moment. This is 1 week's worth of work as well, so Randy has really gotten on with this and come to a good point in just a week. You can see we have the storage, cranes, fuel and repair pumps, and things like coolant, everything you'll need to keep a ship going. Every entry to the ship will be an airlock for ease. And on the bottom floor, you obviously have the garage, which is the huge detachable scarab. There's an airlock cargo lift for loading storage, and this apparently holds 36 standard crate units, or cargo units. Very much like what you see on the Constellation when it drops down. There is 2 airlocks as well for people to walk through, and they hope that it'll turn into more of an in and an out airlock, like you see in a restaurant. There's also an extra storage area within the circular room, and this will come with EVA suits, so you can easily get in and out. And in the centre, we have the long column, which is the elevator, which can take you to every single floor within the ship. Now, onto the first floor, this is the engineering area, and this is where they keep more components to keep ships running. There's a repair station for everything needed to repair. It also connects through airlocks to the arm operator seats, which is where you'll be using the cranes and the manipulating arms to fix the ship. Also, you have a nice observation deck there where you can look into the garage and just overwatch and see how things are going. Now, all the components for your ship, for the actual Crucible, will be on the wings of this floor. You've got the fuel, the coolant, your ballast. There's also launch bays for drones, but they say they'll pick up on that another time. And also you'll have your engine access. On the second floor, you've got the living quarters, and it's 2 people per room. This again is still work in progress, so bear that in mind. Each pod will be an escape pod in itself, so 2 to an escape pod. It's also got a common area where you can cook, you can eat, you can store food. It's got a bathroom, a toilet, so you can all meet there. And again, on the other side, there's the same for 2 more crew. Now on the top floor, this is the bridge. It is unique as it rotates itself. They're not sure if it's going to be an interior rotation or an exterior, as in the full thing rotates. Each crew member would be switching seats often to fill whatever role is needed. There's 7 stations, but technically it is a 4-person ship, so you only need 4 people to run it. But if you can obviously have more. You can have a full 7 people, plus more if you want to run it more efficiently, I suppose. Now there are 4 more escape pods on this floor as well. There's a side airlock to EVA quickly so you can go out the side and get down to the garage without having to go down the lift. The seats within the bridge will actually be on tracks and they will move backwards and forwards and move you around to where you need to be more efficiently, I would have thought. And again, you can overview everything and just look out onto the whole operation. Now with larger ships, we can see here you've got the Retaliator and the Constellation sort of slotted in. It wouldn't be like that, it's just generally they would have one ship in at a time. Half the ship will sit in and can be worked on, the other half will be sort of sticking out. And on larger ships, you'll have drones and the arms to use to fix there. I think the Scarab would likely move off, or perhaps, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they do there. Now, all the gun turrets are remote. The side seats allow you to control them and be the turret gunner without having to leave the bridge, which is very handy, so you can, again, switch to whatever system you need to. So from this, we spoke to Todd Pappy, who was just briefly telling us about the repair. Again, I will cover the repair post and the Crucible post in Star Citizen Sunday. This is a brief overview of how it will work. Now, they said that the repair needs to be repeatable and always fun, so you don't get bored of it. It will be skill-based, so the more you practice, the better you will get. It needs to be scalable for both a single-seater all the way up to capital ship size, and it's built off the ship damage technology. So they say it breaks down into two sections. You've got hull repair and component repair. Hull repair then goes into 4 steps. You have assessment, cleaning, mixing, and patching. First off, you assess the damage on the hull and figure out what section needs to be fixed. From there, you will then clean the damage with the laser, so you have a clean surface to repair, very much like treating a wound. So for example, if you had a wing that was damaged, you would assess the damage, clean off the damaged edges, and then reconstruct it. Sort of like 3D printing, if you like. From there, you mix the materials into a compound, then you take that mixture with the laser and start patching. But you've got to be careful that it doesn't overheat because you've got to get the optimal temperature to get it perfect. Past that, you'll have to restart again. Again, this will be covered more in the Star Citizen Sunday. When it comes to components, you've got assessment, accessing, and replacement. So when a ship takes damage, some of that damage will be transferred to the nearest systems and weapon components. Components have subcomponents acting like fuses and will shut down components before they get ruined. Players will then want to open up the components and replace the subcomponents before powering on again. So it is, again, going to be a very in-depth career path in itself. So the better you get at it, the more you can charge and, the more efficient you'll be at it. And I'm very excited for the repair. It is going to be one of those pastimes that I think will be quite enjoyable without having the need to fight everyone. It'll be just enjoyable to be in space, fixing up ships, getting a paycheck. Anyway, from there, we went to Chris and Dave Haddock. Now, they were talking about Squadron 42 and in particular Mark Hamill's character. He is going to be a senior pilot on the Stanton, which is the Idris that we saw from the Morrow tour. And he is to be your mentor, but he's been worn down by the battles and from the people he's lost, so he's a bit sort of haggard in a sense and does not want to fight in the wars anymore. He just likes the nice peaceful atmosphere of training new recruits. We have a quick little teaser for Mark Hamill in the game and I'll play that in the background. I may shut up for it, we'll see.
Gentlemen, fire up. Try to keep up.
Now they mentioned that the Gladius is one of the first ships you'll be able to fly. You'll be able to configure your character. It is your journey that you go through. You fly with Mark Hamill. He is likely to be angry at you because he's that sort of grumpy old man style person. And basically you are the rookie, he is the veteran. So while you're on board ships, you'll be able to talk to who you want to. They can be on and off duty. You will spend time getting to know people, and if you lose them or they get injured, you will feel real emotion for them. There is more complexity to the characters, and some of them you will like, some of them you won't. They'll all have backstories. So it will feel fluent, and you will feel like you are actually there. Now, they took some questions regarding Squadron 42, and some of the points were that Mark makes some subtle references to Star Wars. You have a diary in Squadron 42, and the story will affect and unlock things in the persistent universe, and at the end of the story, you will then become a veteran. Mark's character will shout at you if you're incompetent, etc., and you can be put in the brig if you troll your crewmates. So if you start prattling around, shooting at their ships and so forth, then you will be put in the brig, and again, characters will react to you for that. Now, they did kind of reveal something that I think Chris Roberts feels like he may have given away too much. They say that you'll fly the Javelin for a short while in the opening battle of Squadron 42, and the Javelin is an absolutely huge, about 345 meter ship. It's one of the biggest ships we have in the game. It will be very exciting doing that. Such a contrast to flying a Gladius. But there was also a behind the scenes video of Mark Hamill, and I'll probably play that in the background while I talk about the other questions and answers. Now you can be a male or a female and manipulate your face. Similarly, they say to Fallout 4. There will be side quests depending on who you talk to and how well you do. The choices you make will have consequences. You'll be able to replay missions, and there will be custom missions for co-op play, but it won't be the full game. You can't go through the full game in co-op. You'll be able to customize your loadout. There will be a default loadout, but you can adjust it as you see fit, and you will earn special modules later on in the game. All of this is being built for first person, but can allow a third person's perspective. But some conversations in maybe cinematics will only be in first person. And from there, we had an interview with Mark Hamill. Again, check that out, it's on the RSI site. So some of the points they picked up on was, there is currently a disagreement between humans about the UEE, and this is in real life as well. You can see it all over the forums, about whether they are good or they are evil, and it's more of a matter of plenty of grey areas. They're not going to be all evil, they're not going to be all good. It's going to be very much grey and a mixture of good and evil. They will have localised voices for the original actors, and you can earn medals, commendations, and go up in rank in Squadron 42, and they also said that there'll be some awesome Top Gun Easter eggs, so you'll have to look out for them. Now after that, they wanted to talk about the character pipeline, and there was a video for this as well. It is on the YouTube for Star Citizen and on the RSI website, and they are bringing the fidelity of characters up. Not just the faces, but the body meshes as well. What we saw at CitizenCon last month is nothing compared to what they have planned. It is going to be way, way, way beyond this. They are using next-gen cutting edge technology right now, and again it's like the difference we saw between the ships from 2012 to what we see now. Now they scan 87 different poses of a person's face. It is going to be one for one like the real person to the in-engine character. They have built high and dense 3D meshes. The skeleton has a muscle based system. Unfortunately the engines can't actually handle muscles, but they've got tricks to make it work. These pipelines speed up everything, and the more they use them, the quicker they get. It is very important that they have these downs for everything, for ships, for characters, everything in the game, because it makes it far more efficient. So from there, Chris sat with Forrest Stefan, and they had a Q&A about the character pipeline. The first point they picked up on, which was nothing to do with the characters, is that VR will be supported, and they'll try and make it work for Squadron 42, but it's likely there'll be some issues with cinematics. So they used to take almost a year to get a top tier character completed, and now with this new pipeline it takes 1 month, and it's just getting faster the more they do it. The Tier 0 character's face has 400 bones, there's 1,000 controllers for each face, armour and clothing can be modular, you'll have gloves, pants, shoes, all swappable and all layerable. Now the alien pipeline is similar to the human pipeline, but it can be more exotic. An example they gave was they can have animated flowing attachments like you say, like the Predator hair, and when for example an alien when walking might walk like a human, but when it sprints it's more like an animal, more like a wolf. Now the player's head will be a Tier 0 head. It'll contain 20,000 polys, whereas a Tier 1 head will contain 11,000. They have physicalized simulation for clothing and hair, and it can work per item, so your coat or your hair will move independently depending on what you're doing, where you're jumping, the wind. It is very in-depth and it's very exciting. Anyway, for part 1, I think I'll leave it there because there is about the same amount for part 2, and if I can keep it to a reasonable size video, then it's easier for you all to watch. Tell me your thoughts on what you saw. Don't forget to check out the website for more in-depth look. Again, I will be covering a lot of this in Star Citizen Sunday in more depth. Everything we've heard is very exciting, and I am overly excited, far more than I should rightfully be.